What's up, guys? Welcome back to Flipping the Script Fishing. Well, I finally got a chance to get back out on the water, and of course, even though it had been warm for the last couple days, we had a nice cold front push through and the temperatures dropped dramatically, and of course the high pressure system pushed in. And in my experience, there's no worse time of the year to get a high pressure cold system come through than in the pre-spawn time. But just like most of you, I go fishing when I can. I don't get the luxury of being able to go whenever I want. So come along and let's see how I figure things out, and if I figure things out. But either way, it'll be a good day fishing. In late winter, during the pre-spawn time, I like to start my search around creek mouths. Whether they've started their migration up the creeks and onto spawning flats, or are staging and getting ready to start their migration, or haven't quite started yet, they should be hanging out at the mouths of those creeks. Either way, it significantly condenses the area in which these fish should be around. These pinch points are key places to start your search. This particular place was a flat right on the side of a creek mouth, and where I could search for fish with faster moving lures. Now on this trip I didn't have any of my electronics working other than my Navionics contour mapping and my depth finder. So anytime I'm fishing like this, I keep my head on a swivel looking for any action, whether it's minnows jumping, bass feeding, or maybe I might spook up a bass and it scurries away. Either way, keeping my head on a swivel and looking for any clue. In case you're curious what I'm throwing here, it's a Tackle Max BuzzFeed 5.6, which is a cross between a buzzbait and an Alabama rig. It's a pretty cool bait. You can find them at www.tacklemax.com. Now, even though I thought I'd get hit on a chatterbait or a lipless crankbait, and I definitely had those tied on, I also tied on a Swimjig. It's just a super versatile bait. You can do all kinds of things with it. Casting it, swimming it like a swim bait, or pitching it, or fishing it through the grass if I have any. I can also fish it deep as I want. I really like to fish it when there's any aquatic vegetation at all. So therefore, I like to fish it with a braided line. One little trick I like to do to mask the visibility of my braided line is to take a Sharpie and to color about 6 feet of my line. I just feel that it breaks up that string of line and gets me a little bit more bites. Now this day I started my search in a 3 to 6 foot range. I tried to focus on clumps of grass, and considering that it had gotten so cold the night before, I thought they wouldn't be much shallower than that. However, I tried a couple flats and I had no luck. I didn't even see any activity at all. So I decided to try a bluff in the depth range of 6 to 15 feet or so. Now this time of year I like to try bluffs that are close to creek mouths or on creek mouths, and I like to take a shaky head and slowly drag it at the base of each bluff. This technique has been very productive for me, especially when it gets cold. I don't know about you, but there's few things to me as frustrating as breaking off on a hook set when you haven't gotten a bite all morning. Other than that moment when a fish was actually running with my lure, I got no other bites on that bluff wall or anywhere close to the bluff wall. But that bite was just enough to keep me there for a good hour or so. I then took the next logical step, and that was to try main flats on the main river channel, just outside those creek mouths that led into spawning flats. Unfortunately, with what is typical with cold fronts, there was a lot of wind, and it was very difficult to keep my position on the main river. Thankfully, on the Tennessee River system, there is no shortage of places to hide from the wind. But you're not likely to be the only one with that idea. But as I pressed on, I soon found myself fishing alone. As the day wore on and that sun got high and things warmed up, I decided to try that shallow bite again. This time, I wanted to go super shallow, like less than 3 feet. When you're fishing that shallow, there's very few things as good as that Swimjig. When I fish the swim jig, I like to throw it shallow up on top of the vegetation. I'll keep my rod tip high as I pull it over the vegetation, and then as it drops off the side, I'll drop my rod tip and allow the bait to sink. At that point, I'll then slowly swim it back to the boat with my rod tip down. As your jig comes in contact with submerged clumps of grass, just pull it through and let it sink on the other side. Oftentimes, this is when you're going to get your strike. Heck yeah. That's a good one. Check that out. That's a beauty right there. It's on a Swimjig, Z-Man Swimjig. All right. That's the kind we're looking for. Let's get a little weight on it. That might go 4 pounds, 5 maybe. 4.2. 4.2. All right. Beauty. Nice one right there. All right. Let's get the release. Finally got one. Beauty. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. If the fishing day is not going quite as planned, make sure you stop and enjoy the surroundings. And remember why you're out there in the first place. Looks crazy. Hopefully you can see the osprey. This baby, man, it's been tough. I'll take a baby right now. It's on that same flipping or swimming jig, but I just threw it that time. Just casting. All right, let's get another. nice one.
Check that out. All right. Let's get a release of this one too.
Even though I had seen multiple fish in this area, I didn't get another bite. I picked apart every piece of vegetation and every log that I could find. I threw multiple lures and gave multiple presentations. For some reason, the fish seemed to just turn off, so I decided to try another area entirely. I knew of some areas on the lake that had lily pad stems from lily pad fields that were there during the summertime. Now, lily pads need a hard bottom for their roots to take hold, so they're magnets for bass looking for places to spawn. Several years ago, I had bought a lure specifically for this presentation, and now was the perfect time to try it.
Yes, sir. That was cool. There we go. I don't know if he's a keeper, but he's a cool fish. Fishing this huge 1-. Cool. All right. Yeah, buddy. All right. Number 5. Cool. See if we can find some more in there. It's a keeper. Take that. Throwing it on this baby, not baby, this is a 1-, man's 1-. It's a cool crankbait. It's for shallow areas and around these lily pad stems. It seems to do really well. Doesn't get hung up, and as you can see, it catches fish.
All the different places I targeted this day, none of them needed electronics to fish. All are very obvious with the naked eye, from creek mouths to bluffs to flats to lily pad stems, all of which you can target and throw different lures and have success at this time of year. Even with conditions being less optimal, I still did pretty well and happy with how the day turned out.
struggled a little bit more today than I thought I would. But I didn't get a single bite on a chatterbait, and I didn't get a single bite on a lipless, and that's what I thought I'd be catching them on. Wind was really high today, so it kind of made it difficult. But I found a couple good fish on Swimjig of all things. I mean, I guess it's close to a chatterbait or a vibrating jig. But then a really cool pattern or something, I guess, is those lily pad stems and throwing that big man's 1-. So that was pretty cool. I bought that a long time ago just for that, and saw it, and it's like, you know what? Perfect time as any to throw it. Caught 2 fish on it and had a third one on. But that was pretty cool. But anyway, just goes to show you, things never go the way you expect them to go. Well, very rarely. But you gotta adjust. Gotta throw some different things, try some different things, and you never know what's gonna happen. So, all right. Well, I gotta pack up, get home, get a shower, get something to eat, and head to work. So, all right, guys. Till next time. Tight lines.